If you want to check out different content from myself, I've just set up a second channel where I'm going to post fitness and things. The link for that will be in the description. And of course, if you want to avoid the random lottery of FIFA points, you want to go straight to the source, buy the players directly, use u7buy.com and use the code TVM at checkout. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another episode of the Norwich City career mode. Before we get into the gameplay, I did say that we'd have a look at our next opponents in the league and where they were. They are in 10th. It is, of course, Arsenal. 29 games played. They do have a game in hand over Brighton, 2 over Newcastle. So things aren't as bleak as I thought they were. I didn't actually look beneath them to see whether anyone beneath them had games in hand or how close they were, etc. They've got Aubameyang on the bench. Interesting decision. Although, bear in mind, we are sort of, 3-4 seasons in. So players are maybe dropping off a little bit and things. That's the I suppose there's a good thing and a bad thing about playing anything like, FIFA career mode or FM or anything like that. You get your first season where you know every single player and everyone's in their prime, and then the longer you get into it, it's good because you start to get a grip of the game and your squad and what have you. But then all the players you know and you like watching and maybe think about signing are all of a sudden 3 or 4 years older and maybe not as good as they used to be. But you sign them anyway because your heart is in the wrong place. You're not thinking with your head. But anyway, that little piece of information aside, Arsenal, even though they are in 10th and they're not particularly a great team in this save, they are not easy to play against. We often struggle against Arsenal. Arsenal and Chelsea and Spurs in the league do tend to be sort of sticky points. Like playing against Manchester City, we can beat them. Okay, they're not easy, but we can beat them. Liverpool, we often beat them. We very rarely lose to Liverpool. So playing against Arsenal and then going a goal down to Arsenal in the first half that they've been completely dominant in, never a good thing. Second half, ball played long from the Arsenal goalkeeper. I think it might still be Leno. And then we start to knock it around a little bit. We're getting a little bit of luck here. Ball falls to Jonathan David. And then he spots his opening, goes for goal. And that is not a rare occurrence. He does that quite a lot. Him and Barco do tend to hit them from that distance. The game finishes 1-1. Arsenal fans are not happy. Can't imagine why when their team, who are currently mid-table, are drawing at home to a team who are currently second. We get an offer for Godfrey come in from Chelsea, and we agree on 22 million. Now, I don't think we're ever going to see this money, not because Frank Lampard is a sort of, wheeler dealer or anything, and we'll somehow get him on the cheap or he's going to steal him. But the reason we won't ever see that money is because chances are when we hit the end of the season, that will be it for the Norwich City career mode. So, I just allowed him to go to Chelsea. He wanted to move anyway. He was disgruntled by the fact that he wasn't getting enough game time. Cyprian's Watford managed to go a goal up. It was my fault, really. I tried to nod it back to the keeper. Never do that, ever. I would never have done that in real life, so I don't know why I did it in the game. But either way, we go a goal down. 12 minutes on the clock. We're not playing particularly well at all. Sangar spots Gilmore with a little bit of space, who bombs forward, plays it into Barco, overlapping run from Sarr, and that is a great goal. From back to front, very, very quickly, 13 minutes on the clock, and we are back level. But Watford are a pretty decent outfit in this league at the moment. They've got some decent players, of course. They bought Cyprian off us, who is a good player. We know that from first-hand experience. Good save from the goalkeeper there. And they've bought some other players as well. They've got Mount, for example. You'd have seen the team when it popped up at the beginning. They have a very good team. So it's not an easy fixture. But not one that I ever get worried about, but the more often that you play them, the more you start to think, right, well, this is now a good team and we need to take Watford seriously. Sarr should have hit the target there. Whether he should have scored or not is irrelevant. He should have at least hit the target, and he didn't, which is a little bit disappointing to say the least. We need to keep, clocking the points and keep getting the... keep taking advantage of our games and getting the points on the board so that Manchester City don't become this sort of speck in the distance, because that at the moment, that's what's happening. We've dropped points at Arsenal. We are struggling against Watford. We can't get the ball out from the back, and we've conceded another goal. João Pedro this time Not the Cagliari João Pedro, but the younger, currently in real life at Watford João Pedro. We go 2-1 down, and now all of a sudden it's become a case of, can we please get a goal and salvage a point from this game? Barco puts us back level. 76 minutes on the clock. It annoys me that when you run to the ball after you score a goal that they don't pick it up anymore and it just sort of skips. The game finishes 2-2. We've dropped 2 points again. So that's 4 points in 2 games we've dropped. But we can't afford to sit around and think about that now. We have a Europa League first leg match against Chelsea. And I did mention a minute ago, actually, that Chelsea were one of those teams that I just have absolutely no confidence in going into games with. Imagine being the manager of Chelsea and having your image plastered up on that. It'd be a bit weird. So we play Chelsea. Winner of that will play Milan or Lyon. Not too afraid of that. But we have to overcome Chelsea first. Not going to be easy. When you look at their team as well, it's not like an amazing side. But for whatever reason, they are just a nightmare to play against. We have our strongest team available to us. Bella Kotchap, Chevalier back in there, Skriniar there, Lodi comes in instead of Lewis, Gedson, Fernandez and Sanchez in the middle. That's my preferred 2, I think. But for whatever reason, at the very beginning of the game, they absolutely annihilated us. It wasn't a contest. They were so much better. And I'm not just talking the first 5 minutes. I'm talking the first half almost. Well, I'll say the first half. Maybe the first half an hour. They were just all over us. We couldn't get out. We couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get the ball back. They were just too good. Ball played into the middle here. It's fallen down to Is it Van der Beek or Kovacic? Either way, it's a goal. And we're 2-0 down in 17 minutes in the first leg of the Europa League. Well, I mean, what can you do? What can you do? But try and regroup. 25 minutes in, Rafael Leao gets down the right. He's got very little in the way of option here. Looking for a pass, finds it in Kubo. Back into Sanchez, first time to Barco. Good turn, manages to come back. And just as I said in the game against Arsenal where Jonathan David did it, Barco gets a goal, wraps it round the goalkeeper and gives us a lifeline. Because up until that, we were flat. We had nothing in us and we were 2-0 down as well. That's an away goal though. That's an important goal. Barco finds himself in on goal, gives it to Jonathan David, who brings us back level. 38 minutes in and if you're a Chelsea fan, you feel sick, right? 2-2, but it wasn't over yet because Bakayoko nods it down. Goalkeeper punches it all the way out and somehow that has been steered goalwards by, I think it's Reece James. That is an unbelievably... I wouldn't say lucky goal, but it's just an instinctive hit, isn't it? Oh, it's Amavi, sorry, not Reece James. Do they even have Reece James anymore? Amavi has turned it goalwards. But either way, it's somewhat of an instinctive flick of the ankle, and somehow it's gone in. We've lost our first game, 3-2. However, we do go into the second leg with 2 away goals. So that could be enough. We need to win the game against Chelsea. That's what it comes down to. So long as we can keep the scores down and we can maybe pick up a 2-1 or a 1-0 win or something, we'll be fine. But it's never that straightforward against Chelsea. That will be not the first match of the next episode, but it will be in the next episode. I think we play Everton in the league first. Everton have built a fairly decent side as well. They're doing quite well in the league. But that will be the first match of next episode. Then we have the second leg against Chelsea. Then it'll be another league game. And providing we can beat Chelsea, haven't played it yet, so I don't know myself, we will then, of course, be drawn against, I think it's looking like maybe Milan, but they are in a very similar situation to us at the moment, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. If you have enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.